Hi, welcome to ANSR, and we have an extremely interesting conversation that we've planned for you today. It's a conversation between two interesting industry magnets. On one hand, we've got a leading industry software platform provider, and the other, we've got a leader who helps build, set up, as well as scale GCCs globally. Welcome to today's show, David Parsons from ServiceNow and Vikram Ahuja from ANSR. Glad to be talking to both of you today. David and Vikram, I'll quickly ask you all to introduce yourselves before we can get started.
Well, first of all, thank you, Smitha. It's great to be here, and it's a special moment in time for ServiceNow and certainly ANSR. I look after our global ecosystem ventures unit. It's a new business unit focused on investing in partners around the world.
Thank you, David. Vikram?
David, thanks for joining us. Smitha, thanks for having me. Very excited to be here today. So at ANSR, I lead a lot of our global products and expansion strategies, and extremely excited for the conversation that we're going to have today, particularly talking about our partnership with ServiceNow.
Great, so we'll get started. David, thank you so much for quickly introducing yourselves for us earlier. I know you're part of the ventures ecosystem, and I know it's a $150 million fund. I want to understand a little more around the investment principles, on how you invest in companies, as well as also if you could elaborate on what does that mean for ANSR's long-term growth?
Yeah, no, well listen, first of all, the mission of the group was to really leverage our balance sheet as a company in investing in targeted regional partners in key markets across the world where we see tremendous growth potential. And there were three out of the gate as we launched this fund earlier this year. One was Japan, India, and then Germany. And then in India, it was really clear that there was a massive opportunity in the GCC segment. And as we looked at the market landscape, we did extensive research to look at market leaders, thought leaders, and we were also looking for partners who move with great speed, agility, thought leadership. And we didn't have to look too far to find ANSR. And so when we look at those attributes and you look at the growth ambitions, the market penetration in the GCC segment, it became really clear that there was common vision, there was common alignment on the culture and value system of both companies, which was very important. And then even more important, a lot of overlap of our client base. So we are excited about the opportunity, and we're looking forward to big things to come in the months, quarters, and years to come.
Thanks, David. I think David just alluded to the fact, Vikram, that the GCC market is thriving, and I think we've got some extremely interesting stats, like it's expected to grow to about $110 billion by 2030, and I think that's a staggering number. And everyone's talking about the GCC space today. Where do you see the future of GCC is moving? Because you seem to be right in the middle of all of this, working with large Fortune 500 as well as large enterprises globally.
Yeah, no, it is a staggering number, and we live in very transformative times. Today, every company is a technology company, and for them to go down this path of transforming themselves, they need access to good talent, which is where global centers have taken shape. And today, building a global team or a global capability center is a mainstream strategy for any company that's going down this transformation path. Today, global capability centers employ about 1.5 million professionals in a market like India, expected to grow to about 2 to 2.5 million in the next 3 to 5 years, bringing in, as you said, about 110 billion in investment. But also the role of these centers have transformed from being support centers and back offices today to being front end center and literally being the hotbed of where innovation happens. A lot of that is being driven by these centers building teams with incredible talent and professionals that are transforming enterprises from the inside out. So we're very excited to be a part of this industry. As ANSR, we've been doing this for the last 18 years. This is all we do. And today we have an opportunity to participate in what we think is going to be the future of work. And that's where I think a lot of what we're going to do from now, especially as you spoke about earlier, building this ecosystem of partners and products and services to help other companies expand, and any company to build anywhere, make that vision come to life, is where our mind is at.
Thanks, Vikram. Just taking from that cue and the entire segment being so vibrant and diverse, especially the GCC space. David, you just touched upon earlier about how GCCs now happen to be a key part of your global as well as the India strategy. And I wanted to understand a little more from you in terms of what's the ServiceNow strategy for the GCC market?
Well, it's a critical point. Vikram said it perfectly, first of all. What we see is this notion of a hotbed of innovation and thought leadership. Our customers the world over, these big brands that are moving their GCCs to India, have spoken loud and clearly to us in terms of the significant cost savings, the productivity increases that come with leveraging ServiceNow's technology platform. And what we saw with ANSR is the ability to provide and combine ANSR's domain expertise around how to go do this at scale, how to go build, transfer, operate. That's not our expertise. However, we have an amazing technology platform that's going to be enabling the next generation of customer and employee experiences at scale. And as we do that, especially with the advent of Gen AI, this notion of making AI real is a galvanizing vision for both organizations. And so this just became a very natural, logical step. And as we mentioned, in India, we have very significant growth ambitions. And the GCC segment, as a segment, which I think represents 1% of India's GDP, is sizable and meaningful. So we wanted to use the balance sheet investment dollars and all the business planning and the rigor that we're putting into our go-to-market and the training and the enablement as we build capacity in market with and through ANSR to pull all together in kind of one big plan. And that's what the announcement last week or 2 weeks ago represented here in India, and for that matter, around the world.
Thanks, David. Vikram, I think there's been a lot of buzz. There's been a recent announcement on the investment as well as partnership with ServiceNow. And I think it kind of uniquely positions ANSR more like a GCC SuperApp because you're bringing the best of platform providers. You've made investments and you've built market-leading tools and products which kind of support and kind of create this platformization of the entire GCC industry. I wanted to understand from you, what do you think this partnership kind of offers and what are the exciting things that we can look forward to?
For sure. One of the most important aspects of building a global center is that it's an extremely complex process. There's many moving parts. And what we've realized over the last 18 years that we've been in this business is there's a great need to bring together everything that happens in building, operating, managing, setting up, and scaling a global center. Part of this partnership for us, as you mentioned, is building out a super app that allows leading enterprises around the world to have a seamless flow of information, of onboarding of their teams, of managing all the nuances that come together with building and managing a global center, all through one platform. And with ServiceNow, we're excited to be pursuing a couple of initiatives and products that we think is going to be very exciting. We're bringing our own service delivery capabilities onto the ServiceNow platform, which means we are bringing an integrated, holistic, data-driven approach for companies to seamlessly flow through the life cycle of setting up a distributed center, which means integrating their people, their assets, their finance, their operations, everything in one platform and providing a unified source of truth for a global center to scale. The second aspect of that is what David touched upon as well, is training and bringing together capabilities into the customers that we bring to India and set up these global centers for, and helping their own employees upskill themselves to be able to use this platform more efficiently. So it's a combination of products, it's a combination of services, and at the end of the day, we think that this is going to lead to better and faster outcomes for our customers and enable more companies to build global teams in an easier manner.
Thanks, Vikram. David, do you want to add anything further to this from your perspective?
Yeah, well, Vikram said it well. I would just add, two complementary things. One, we talked about Gen AI earlier, and as you know, in any technology segment, having a vision and then a pragmatic approach to realizing that vision as we look at the promise of Gen AI. We've been very fortunate to be on that path for many, many years now. We just launched our first wave of Now Assist capabilities, which will be adopted into the full GCC offering portfolio as part of our partnership. And when you look at the early findings, because we've been deploying this technology within ServiceNow for the last 9 months, both in terms of customer service, our customer support organization, and in our IT support, we are seeing in 2 areas, use case summarization on the agent side, and then in the case of, think of agent assist, anybody on a phone taking customer calls or employee help calls, there's a knowledge base of, hey, we've been there and done it before, kind of insights. Those are perfect use cases. And so with ANSR, we're going to be able to take ANSR's knowledge of all the GCC constituents into an integrated, he used that word integrated, tightly integrated, interconnected set of services. And imagine us applying, and we're going to do this pretty quickly, the Gen AI capabilities. And the big idea for customers, you use the word transformational, right, is we're seeing productivity savings of 40 to 60% on the agent side. We're seeing the throughput and customer experience, whether it be an employee or a customer in a self-serve agent way or through a live person. We're seeing tremendous improvements in the quality of that interaction. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And then lastly, Vikram talked about the capacity, the capability. As part of our agreement, we'll be training and enabling over 3,500 new ServiceNow certified professionals who will be working with our joint customers to enable them to realize the business value, the transformative value of what we're going to be able to do together. That is exciting.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Vikram. I think it starts like an era of a new wave to the way GCCs will get set up and as well as build and scale. I think it just adds a lot more excitement of making AI real. Thank you for coming here and speaking to me today. Really appreciate it. And wishing you both the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Smitha.
Yeah,
thanks, David.
Yeah, thanks, Vikram. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.